Imagine you pull up to a car meet and there's this mint old 1991 NSX, fully restored. You peek in the rear hatch, it's got a K-Series. You peek around back and it's got 2 turbos. A twin turbo K-Series NA1 NSX. Well, my friends, that is exactly what we are building. To say I'm stoked, I guess would be an understatement. I am pumped, I am thrilled. I've been planning this move right here on this car ever since it was 100% complete and it was fully stock, 100% factory. We are building a twin turbo NSX. As you guys know, or maybe you don't know, but now you know, we are giving away the 2019 Civic Type R. This has been my wife's daily for the last 3 years. We have greatly enjoyed it, but now Bobby kind of needs something with a lot more space for the coffee stand business. Instead of trading it in or selling the Type R, we decided we wanted to go to one of you guys. So just like the E92 M3 I gave away a few months ago, every $3 you spend on the website is 1 entry to win the car. And if you don't want a 400 horsepower Civic Type R, you can also pick 15 grand in cash. Now I have seen a lot of your guys' comments on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. Some of you guys are wishing it had different wheels on it. So guess what? I'm gonna allow the winner, whoever wins the car, to pick whatever set of wheels they want. A lot of you guys are TE37 fanboys, and while I disagree, I think CE28s look better than TEs. Guess what? This car isn't gonna be ours anymore. It's gonna be yours. So if you want your TEs, I'll buy your TEs and get them installed. If you want any other set of wheels, whatever freaking wheels you want, I'll buy and install on the car just for you. $3 spent is 1 entry, and we are down to the final week. There's only 1 week left to get entered in on winning the Type R. Now it's not gonna be any just random twin turbo setup. Let me show you what we're planning and what we're gonna be building. So you know how everybody twin turbos their Huracans, and they got a turbo chilling right about here and another turbo chilling right about here? That's what we're doing. We're doing 2 turbskis out the back, visible through the rear bumper. This is going to be insane, and I'm so excited for it. Now, I wanted to do all of this fabrication work before we painted the shell. There is going to be some very minor modifications needed right back here to get this set up to work, and I didn't want to go ahead and paint the entire shell and then do the modifications that we need to do. So that's why we are doing the mods first, doing any sort of welding, trimming, whatever needs to happen to get this set up to work. We are going to be doing that first, and when all that's complete, then we paint the shell. Now there is very few things that I hire out when it comes to these car builds. On the 3RS, you guys saw that I sent the dash out to get repaired, sent the seat belts out to get repaired, things of that nature. Now when it comes to fabrication, I'm comfortable doing it on less crazy builds. Like you guys saw, I did all the fabrication on the all-wheel drive Type R, but here's the thing on the NSX. I want this thing to be next level. So I am hiring out the twin turbo setup and all the fabrication needed to go along with the twin turbo setup to my good friends and my dear friends over at Strayed Fabrication, who also happen to be the same people who fixed the tub on the new GT3 RS. So I'm gonna be dropping the car off to Strayed Fabrication later on today. Before we bring it out, we need to install a ton of stuff. Engine, transmission, the whole rear cradle, just a bunch of random goodies. Now, of course, it's all gonna be temporary, so I'm not gonna do like a secure installation, but all that stuff needs to be installed so that they can go ahead, build the turbo manifold, get the turbos mounted, build the air to water, build all the piping, build the intakes, build the exhaust. Now, I know this may, I guess you could say, disappoint some people because I am having to do a little bit of modification on the shell. As it sits, it's a completely, I guess you could say, untouched, even though we replaced the rail and the uniside. But other than that, it's like a factory shell. But I wanted something different. I wanted something unique. I wanted something that I was going to be proud of. I wanted something that was going to make me smile every time I hopped in the car. Of course, the K-Series, as it sits, is cool, but it's, you know, it's really not that quick. We could have done just a single turbo setup. But like I said, I also wanted it unique and different and exciting. So 2 turbos right about there is the move. power plant is back in the car. Now we're gonna go ahead and install this. This is the entire rear cradle. I think it's pretty neat how it all just bolts together, and then there is 6 bolts on each side that bolt this entire thing onto the shell. Cradle is back in the car, fully bolted in, rear mount is on. Now before we go ahead and get this thing loaded up in the trailer, there's a few little changes, little things I need to do on the car. Everything that I just laid out on the table should be all the parts that I need to supply the fab shop to twin turbo the NSX. Let's open all of this up. Box number 1. It's a little bit boring, but it is the Garrett core for the air to water cooler. And then we have not 1, but 2 natural or silver tile BOVs, and not 1, but 2 Turbo Smart Comp Gate 40 wastegates. And most importantly, well, to twin turbo a car, you need turbos. So in here should be our turbos. So not 1, but 2 oilless, waterless turbos from my good friends at Comp Turbo. So these things are mirror image 55mm turbos from Comp Turbo. Now the cool thing and the coolest thing about these, they are oilless and they are waterless, meaning we don't have to run any oil or any coolant to these turbos. Now typically, say on a precision turbo, it'll be oil fed, but it's not cooled through water, so you only have to run oil. And like I said, on these, we don't have to run any sort of lines. That was pretty important for how the turbo placement is going to be. If we ran oil-fed turbos, we would have to do some sort of scavenge pump underneath the car. It would start kind of complicating things, adding more parts that could break. So that led to the perfect setup, a twin mirror image set of 55mm turbos from Comp. Now you might be thinking, Devin, isn't 55mm a little bit small? 2 things you got to keep in mind. Number 1, this is a 4-cylinder, and number 2, technically, being that we have 2 of them, wouldn't that equal 110mm of turbo? I don't know if that's precisely how it works, but of course, having two turbos instead of 1, you can make a whole lot more power. Now, power goals for this car: if we made a solid, reliable 700 wheel in this car, I think that'd be more than enough. Being rear-wheel drive, being pretty lightweight, and of course, pretty much all the weight being in the rear of the car with the motor in the back, I think 700 at the tire is more than enough. Now, I do think this setup is gonna be able to make way more than 700, but let's call 700 our horsepower goal. Being that both turbos will be mounted in the rear bumper area, we do need to go ahead and do some light assembly with the bodywork as well. So we're gonna slap on both quarter panels because the rear bumper bolts to the quarters. We're gonna put on the rear bumper beam. And then I did pick up an aftermarket rear bumper. I don't know why I'm like this. I guess it's kind of weird, but I don't like to cut apart factory panels, especially if they're rare, like a factory NSX rear bumper. In the future, I might, but I did go ahead and pick up a aftermarket rear bumper so that we can cut that up instead of cutting apart the factory one. So let's slap on some body panels, and then I'll show you guys a rough idea of where I think the turbos are gonna sit. So I got the rear bumper installed. 99.9% of the time, rear bumpers fit absolutely horrendous in the aftermarket world. This one honestly doesn't fit all that bad. I could definitely get it to fit better. I think what they were going for is the NSX-R style rear diffuser with this bumper. And the reason I picked this up is because it has these holes right here where we plan on putting the turbos. There's one more thing we need to go ahead and swap out before we get this car loaded up in the trailer, and that is the intake manifold. So currently I have the Skunk 2 manifold on here, and I decided, being that we're going kind of all out on this build, let's pick up a new manifold, a full billet manifold. That one's nice, but this one's nicer. All right, here is my new present to myself, being that we got all the body work done. I went ahead and ordered up the manifold I truly wanted. I bought the Skunk 2. It was around $500. I really wanted this one. I don't even want to tell you guys how much this thing was. Way too expensive, but I'm glad I finally chalked it up and bought the manifold I really wanted. Let's go ahead and get it swapped out. That thing sure is going to look nice, but as is with a lot of intake manifolds, aftermarket K-Series manifolds, you do have to trim off that little bracket right there, which we don't use anyway. Let's go ahead and pull that off, get it trimmed and back on, and we can get this intake manifold bolted on securely.
You ready for this, Devin?
I'm ready.
One right there, one in the middle, and one right there. Don't drop it. Run, boy, run. Oh, somebody made the damage.
That's okay.
To a new framework. Oh, that's the Terpskis.
Easy then.
What?
Excited to spend the money?
No.
Oh.
The NSX is now dropped off at Straight Fabrication. It's going to be out there, I would say, anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. Kind of depends on just how much stuff I'm truly going to have them do. So that's the scoop. That's the deal. 2 massive projects happening at the same time. Twin turbo NSX build and a 9923 RS rebuild. Never thought I'd be at this stage in life where I'm just doing wild stuff like this all the time, it feels like now. But it's very, very exciting. Very grateful, very blessed to be in this position. Even just having a clunky wrecked 3RS is insane.